Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Hoody Pickups. In today's video, we'll be talking about the 2019 Supreme Bandana box logo hooded sweatshirt. So this came out December 12th of 2019, which is actually today, for a retail price of $168. So yeah, you heard that correctly. This is literally, I got this today. I drove home from Supreme LA and I'm making this video for you guys. The release was pretty hectic. Couple hundred people in line. Took about an hour and a half to get through. Met some cool people in line. The hoodie was handed to me directly by the Supreme store manager there in LA, Javier Nunez. So that was pretty cool. I got to see Nuge there. He was working the register. So it was overall like a pretty cool experience. The staff there, the security staff there, kept everything pretty airtight. No cutting or anything like that. So props to the Supreme LA guys. They did a great job with this release. But anyway, back to the sweatshirt. So this is the red colorway. There were 8 total colorways. I picked the red because, I feel like the classic Supreme box logo, it's like red with white letters. I feel like that just looks the best. And also because the whole bandana theme, the red bandana is like the classic pattern. So I decided to go with the red and I think it looks great. So yeah, like the Supreme box logo has been the cornerstone of all Supreme collections ever since like they first started making clothes, like way back in the day, back in like 94 or something like that. Supreme, not a lot of people know this, but they started as a skate store and they weren't really selling their own stuff. They were selling other brands. And eventually they launched their own line to sell in their stores. And the first clothes that they ever made were hoodies, box logo hoodies, box logo t-shirts, and crew necks. So, the box logo has a very deep history with Supreme. And, to this day, it's like one of the most coveted garments that Supreme produces. So every year or every other year, Supreme comes up with some sort of new box logo. 2019, we have the bandana. We have the bandana box logo, which I think is probably one of the sickest box logos. That being said, after Carlyle Group purchased about 50% of the Supreme shares, they've been ramping up production a lot. I think they're putting in some pressure to make more money, and the quantities, the production quantities of pretty much all their stuff has gone up like drastically, like maybe like double, triple almost. And box logos are no exception. So box logos, I think before they were really rare, they were really hard to get a hold of. And I think this bandana box logo was probably the most highly produced box logo in Supreme history. There's absolutely like a ton of them. Were they easy to get? Definitely not. I said this in my video last year about my the crew neck box logo. They're definitely still not easy to get, but production has been improving, so it's easier to get. But yeah, I think that's a step in the right direction. So enough about the background. Let's get to what you guys were waiting for, the actual box logo hoodie itself. So I'm just going to talk about all the details and features of the hoodie. It's just a hoodie, so there's not a whole lot to talk about, but I would like to touch on a couple of things you can do to make sure that you get a legitimate Supreme box logo hoodie, because there are a couple of telltale signs that, where you can tell like if it's a genuine hoodie or a fake hoodie. So yeah, so why don't we just kind of walk through this. Starting out with the fabric. So the fabric that Supreme uses here, the sweatshirt fabric, it's an extremely heavy duty sweatshirt material. So one of the most defining characteristics of a Supreme sweatshirt is the reverse weave. You might have heard it from Champion's reverse weave, but essentially what it means is that they weave the sweatshirt this way. The fabric is woven horizontally instead of vertically like most normal sweatshirts. And what that does is it gives the sweatshirt a lot of rigidity and structure and longevity, because over time, if the fabric is woven vertically, gravity will start to pull on it and it'll start to stretch out, and the horizontal kind of like reverse weave prevents that a little bit to a certain extent. So it's like a hallmark of a high quality sweatshirt. So what I've noticed is So there's usually like kind of three main sections to the sweatshirt. There's the body section, the hood section, and the arm section. On the fake ones, the direction of the weave on all three panels are not consistent. So on this real hoodie, you can see that you have the horizontal weave here on the body, horizontal weave on the hood, and also horizontal weave on the arm. So the direction of the weave is consistent. On fake ones, I've noticed some have vertical weave on the hood or vertical weave on the arms. So the weave is kind of perpendicular to the direction on the main body fabric. So that's a good telltale sign. If you see different direction of weave on any of the panels, that is a fake piece of clothing. Another way you can tell is flipping the fabric inside out. So you can see the inside of this sweatshirt fabric is this very like soft, fluffy material. It's almost very fuzzy. Make sure you have this inside lining material and not kind of like the French terry kind of looped material, because I've seen some with the looped material on the inside, and that is 100% fake as well. Supreme does not do the French terry looped material on the inside. So another defining characteristic of the Supreme sweatshirt is the gusseted side seams here. So these gussets add some stretch and mobility to the side of your body. So you got the gussets on the left and right side, right under your armpits here. Gives you a lot of mobility. It just makes the garment a lot more comfortable to wear. And you can kind of see it's like the same material as this kind of like scrunchy part at the bottom here. Just extends up here to the sides. One thing to note is that the inside and outside of the gusset should look exactly the same. Unlike the body panel fabric here, which is kind of like fuzzy on the inside, the gusset should look exactly the same inside and outside. So moving up to the hood here, the hood itself is actually very large. You can see here how big that is. I have a pretty big head, and this fits my big head very easily. So a nice oversized hood. The inside fabric and the outside fabric of the hood is the same reverse weave material. You won't find the fuzzy stuff on the inside of the hood, so that's another thing you can look for. Moving to the drawstrings, you can see the drawstrings are this flat drawstring with some frayed tips, and you have these metal semi-gloss eyelets for the drawstrings. But for the most part, all the fakes I've seen seem to replicate this hood part pretty well. So that's kind of like a bad indicator. You can't really tell if it's real or not just by looking at pictures of the hood. So now let's move on to the most important part of the box logo hoodie, which is the actual box logo. So for this year around, Supreme decided to go with this bandana theme, which I think is super cool. However, that being said, it's one of the more intricate box logo designs, and just because of the fact that the box logo is not a patch that's just stitched on, it's actually like directly embroidered into the fabric. The complexity of the design kind of like, I would say, like reduces the overall quality. It's just not as clean. So, I mean, it's kind of difficult. I mean, even from here, even from that far away where the camera is, it's probably difficult to see. But if you zoom in, here's a close-up shot. You can freeze frame this for legit check purposes. You can see that like there are some imperfections here and there. I think the way this works is they embroider the background first, and then they embroider the Supreme letters over it. And when they do that, because the letters are not being embroidered on like a uniform, clean background, it does kind of lead to some imperfections here. So as you can see here, right around the tip of this U, there's a little like black thing, and like at the bottom of the P, there's like a little fleck of black from the background bandana pattern. This like the middle of the R just kind of like a little bumpy there. So I mean, all in all, like, I mean, it's just little tiny things that you're never gonna notice from a distance. Like if you're looking at it from like 2 inches away, like I am right now, you can see them. But I think the trade-off is worth it because the design of this box logo, I think, is probably one of the coolest ones to come out yet. I mean, I definitely take this over just like a plain box logo any day. Especially in this red with the black and white bandana pattern in the back. That is just beautiful. So yeah, I'll also like put up a picture of the inside of the box logo because you can see that because it's embroidered, the inside it has this like pretty unique pattern. So this is also a good telltale sign to see if it is fake or not. I haven't, obviously this just came out today, so I haven't seen any fakes yet, but I am assuming that the fakes will not get the bandana pattern on the front correct initially. So really scrutinize that freeze frame and compare it to what you have to see if you have a legit one or not. All right, let's move down to the bottom of the hoodie. Obviously, we have a kangaroo pocket here. Nothing too special here. You got the same horizontal reverse weave fabric going on here. It's a pass-through kangaroo pocket. It goes all the way through. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the features. So the next part I want to talk about are the labels and the tags. And the labels and the tags are actually really important, and that's where I actually find that most counterfeiters like really fail the most, and one of the easiest ways to tell like what you're buying is real or fake. So this sweatshirt has labels and tags in 3 locations: back of the neck, on the left side of the hip, and also on the inside on the left side, the care instructions. So let's start from back of the neck here. Back of the neck, you have a Supreme woven tag and a Made in Canada tag that can be flipped. Here it says X large Made in Canada, and on the other side of this it says RN 101837 CA 38135. So this tag right here, the tag on the back of the neck, this is the one that the counterfeiters I think get right most of the time, unless you're buying like a really like, you know, like D tier fake. For the most part, they get this right. I mean, I'll put up a freeze frame here so you guys can really compare. Just what you want to look for is spacing, you know, on top and bottom of the letters, spacing in between the letters and stuff like that. You know, the quality of the woven label, etc., etc., spacing in between the fonts. But I mean, for the most part, I think, like I said, this is a little hard to distinguish. Same goes for this hip label here. The little mini kind of like woven label that says Supreme right here. This itself, I mean, it's so small, it's really difficult to tell, but I'll also put up a really close-up shot of this. You can actually count the stitches on certain letters and compare it to what you have to see if what you have is real or fake. Finally, the last label that I want to talk about is this, the care instructions label right here on the inside left kind of like hip area. And this is the label that counterfeiters always get wrong. Like I don't really need to see any other pictures of the sweatshirt. All I need is to see is a picture of this, and I could tell you if it's real or not, because I'm also kind of like a designer by trade. So I'm like, I scrutinize like things like fonts very closely. And the thing that I've noticed is that a lot of fakes get this, like, see where it says 100% cotton inside the little rectangle there? They get that cotton font wrong all the time. So you see the O's in the cotton, they're ovals here on the real sweatshirt. On the fake ones, the O's are more like circles. So you want to look for the oval O's, not the circle O's. And also that you see the spacing, all the letters are very kind of crammed together. They're like pretty much like touching each other. Like right here, the 2 T's are touching each other at the top. Down here where it says Canada, like pretty much all the letters are touching each other. So the distance between the letters, you know, you want them really, really close together. A lot of fakes, the letters are not touching, so that's another telltale sign. Another sign is just the general quality of the print. As you can see, the quality of the print here is extremely, like, it's pristine, right? It's like, there's no smudging. You can see the uniformity of the ink here across this woven label. Everything is just perfect. Spacing is great. The fake ones, they seem to have a lot poorer print quality. Flipping it on the other side here, I get a lot of questions about this 100% cotton with 1 T. There is like, oh, is it fake because there's a typo here? Isn't it supposed to be 2 T's? But no, this is the French label, so it is correct. Cotton only has 1 T in French, and then you have the Japanese label down here. So you can just kind of reference this and compared to what you have. And also the connection of the woven label to the sweatshirt should be just like a single stitch line here up on the top. And finally, the last thing you can do is just kind of feel the top of this label to see if it's been kind of like heat sealed so it doesn't unravel. So yeah, those are the things you can do to make sure you have a real one. So yeah, I think that's pretty much, I mean, all I have to say about this. And like I said, this is just like a hoodie. There's not a whole lot to talk about. It's literally like a hoodie with like a bandana box logo embroidered in the middle. So, I mean, I'm actually surprised I was able to talk this long about it. So yeah, that's pretty much all the kind of like little details and features of the hoodie. And I think that's pretty much all you need to really like legit check any of these hoodies that you might come across down the line in the future. Let's talk about fit and sizing. So Supreme hoodies fit a little slim in my opinion. I'm kind of like a chunkier guy, so maybe that's why it fits a little slim. Maybe I'm just fat. But in my opinion, I thought Supreme hoodies fit like pretty slim. I mean, compared to like other brands anyway. But interestingly enough, the crew necks fit like pretty baggy for some reason. So the crew neck fit is different from the hoodie fit. Just keep that in mind. If you want like kind of like a baggier fit, I would definitely recommend just going one size above, like sizing up. But if you're okay with just kind of like a general slim fit, you should just stick true to your size. Me, I'm an XL. They don't make anything larger than an XL, so I kind of have to wear the XL. And I don't think the fit is bad. I'll wear it at the end of the video so you guys can see. But the fit is something you should definitely be aware of. It is definitely a slimmer fitting hoodie. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up everything I have to say about the Supreme Bandana box logo hoodie. Like I said, I'm going to throw it on so you guys can see what it looks like on body. And if you have any questions about the hoodie, or if you have any questions like legit checking, please hit me up. I'll try to help you out as best I can. So once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.